Welcome to another video on advanced order flow strategy and execution. So let's have a look what we'll be looking at over here. Now we're actually looking at a type of momentum play, but this momentum play is predominantly a new one that we haven't spoken about in the course, but it really encompasses everything that we've learned. And this video that we're looking at here is really macro news. So let me just make this ink a little bit smaller. So if you had to put on another strategy over here in the momentum play, and this is what you should be doing, you should be adding to each one of these sections your own observations, your own little plays within these four really key components of the price ladder, or four key strategic areas. So it's really macro news. And how do you react when you are observing breaking macro news that really changes the perception or the concept of repricing of certain asset classes? So what we're going to be looking at in this instance over here is a breaking news out of a central bank policy maker. And in this instance, it's looking at the Bank of England, and specifically BOE's Forbes, who's one of the voting members. So this is how it would come out on a Reuters news feed, and really it's why our traders all have their own individual Reuters feeds, simply because it's important that when a breaking news comes out, you are very quick in observing that breaking news and seeing whether that breaking news shifts the whole dynamic of how people reprice assets. And in this instance, what actually happened is that BOE's Forbes came out and said rate hike would still leave substantial amount of stimulus for the economy. Now, we do know, if any of you who follow any of our debriefs, our stream, we do know that BOE's Forbes is one of the hawkish members. But prior to this comment, what we had is a Bank of England meeting the prior week where they voted 9-0 on interest rates and keeping and actually forecasting downwards their rates. So being prepared on that, knowing that this was really the first Bank of England member to come out and voice a rate hike, and therefore that shifts the notion of the market, of the Bank of England, where there's 9 members voting for interest rates hikes or cut. There's potentially a member that would be voting for a hike, which would leave it at 8-1. So what we had over here is this is the moving cable. So when she came out, so this is a 5-minute chart. So we moved from 123.96 all the way to 124.28, so a fairly substantial movement. Sorry, this is the spot market, so it will be a little bit different on the futures market, the actual pricing, but exactly the same trajectory of a move. So about a 30 to 40 tick, very fast, aggressive move. So the execution order flow type that we're looking at here is macro news. Okay, so that's the news section that we're looking at. The pattern type is more or less a volume slam dunk, or you could classify it as a news slam dunk. And the objective over here is the moment you hear the news, you want to really be the market maker. You want to make price. You don't want the price to go and then chase it, because by the time you do that, people will be profit taking ahead of you. So make sure when you read the news, the moment you read, you react. And that's when you have a broad understanding of fundamentals in the marketplace, is when you can really profit and benefit from this. So your trading strategy is aggressive at market best price. So the moment the news comes out, you want to really be getting within 5 ticks of the original price prior to the release. So if the market was trading double O's and the news comes out, you really want to be getting within the first 10 ticks. So between double O's and 10s is where you really want to be getting at. And some of our best traders, they literally get the market price because they're incredibly reactive. They know when people are speaking, especially if it's a planned data, a planned event. And this was planned, where on your economic calendar it would have said 2 p.m. London time. The ladder environment is not important, because the ladder environment should become, when market news comes in, the ladder environment should go from its more neutral state to a state of high volume and high velocity. So effectively, the ladder environment shifts its nature. So you know when news is important, when data is important, when the market wakes up. And what I mean by the market wakes up, the buyers and the sellers become more active. There's more volume being exchanged on the ladder. The rate of knots starts increasing on the ladder. So that is when you deem an event as important, as very important. You should see. So the moment you execute that order into the market at best price, so say the market's trading 54.10s, you want to be getting in at that price. And the moment you get in at that price, you should see a pickup in activity on the ladder. Those are what your observation point should be. The moment you get into the marketplace, you're not seeing that market, the activity on the ladder picking up, then the market has deemed this news as unimportant or uneventful, and it's just your perception that's potentially got it wrong. So that's your really first key indication whether the news is important, is whether the ladder environment completely wakes up, the velocity, the volume, the liquidity conditions really start increasing. Your risk management is really should be 5 ticks at the very most. If you get a bad price, 10 ticks at the most, but really you shouldn't be risking more than 5 ticks. Our top traders don't risk more than 2 ticks, even in the more volatile currency markets. Your reward management is effectively once you get that first spike in the market, in the ladder, so you get that first spike up, and then when the market starts auctioning, there's a bit more two-way flow, you can start exiting your position. A lot of traders, when you get that first knee-jerk move out, they get out immediately. So we'll be looking at one of our traders on the trading floor who actually got on this comment. In this instance, he actually made, approximately, some of our traders can make obscene amounts of money. Here, where he made a fairly good amount, you'll see it was around, I can't remember what size he traded, but we'll look at that in an instance. But effectively, he traded, I think, up to 20 to 50 lots in cable. So let's have a look how this all planned out. Okay, let me just make this all clean for you as we go and watch this trader execute the Forbes comment. And just because there might be some background music, hopefully not, but there might be some background music in this, because when the trader was recording his screen, he was listening to some music in the background. So just, I really want you to watch the cable market, and this is the market that we'll be looking at. So it's this right over here. So this is what we're looking at. We're looking at this ladder over here. Okay, so just keep a nice clean eye on this. And what we're watching for over here is, so this is where it gets full, because we don't have a time over here. It's when this starts hitting 2 o'clock. So let's start watching the activity over here. Okay, so what we're watching over here, we're watching the cable chart. We're keeping close eye, it's 59 past. The comments are just about to drop in the market, so the comments are about to drop literally in the next 30 seconds. So keep a very close eye and watch the moment the comments drop. Let's just pause that. What we have actually here, he's actually reduced his ladder scale by 2 ticks. So actually every tick up is actually 2 ticks. So already 2, 4, 6, 8. He's already 10 ticks on side on this trade. He's already executed. Well, he had approximately 50 lots. He's already got out some of it. He actually starts the way he trades. He actually exits in 1 lots. So he goes in aggressively with most of his clip, and then he starts executing. Then he starts exiting in 1 lots. So the moment the news dropped, you can see the news on the Reuters headline that we looked at the previous slide, dropped in at 2 o'clock. Okay, so he's executing already within milliseconds of that 2 o'clock headline. So his first trades as he starts executing is, I mean, this is already within a few seconds of the news dropping. He's in a position at the moment of 40, well, it says there 46 lots is his position, or over here it says 45. So let's continue watching and watch how he executes. So the market that he enters was about 123.76, 123.78. So he started buying all along here, and let's see where the market pops to and how he starts exiting his position. So,
Full force, employment, global growth better than expected. Fed given the policymaker Chris Endorse comments this week. Full force, sterling pass maybe faster than fast. Full force, C faster than expected. Inflation gains. Full force says becoming hard to tolerate price overshoot. Force says policy will still be a positive after rate rise. Full force said UK. Economy may soon be a rate increase. DJ on force, inflation may pick up faster than expected. DJ on force, growing uncontrollable growth. Inflation trade off. DJ on force, policy should not go on hold because of uncertainty. DJ on force, figure innovation and growth. Jobs has not transpired. DJ on force, resume supporting increasing interest rates.
And make some money. He's still actually getting some more orders in. He's buying a little bit higher at the moment, but he still sees the volume and velocity of the ladder. You can see the acceleration really happening very keenly.
ECB says all. Gold equals remain unchanged. ECB says force reserves value 100 million to EU 238 million. ECB says lending the next value 2.36 BLN to EU 186.3 BLN.
Moving up above the 124 mark. Now he's just got a few more lots left in the market. And really, that shows you how important it is to be very alert and be very aware. And it shows you how important it is to have a ladder. Because on the ladder, you can see how quickly you can execute on breaking news, how quickly you can react, and how important it is for you to be very alert to breaking news and what constitutes breaking news. So this is quite a novel look at another ladder strategy. There are some traders out there who literally only trade news events, but they can only trade news events simply because they have access to the price ladder. So really quite a key little play that I wanted to share with you today on how some of our traders trade these macro news events, whether it be OPEC, Fed members, Fed meetings, BOE members, BOE decision makers, ECB speakers, ECB meetings, OPEC decision makers, whether it be some geopolitical events, whether it be some terrorist events. There are a whole bunch of macro events that really drive the global market environment, and that's really key. What I wanted to share with you and show you in this strategy. So all the best, and hope you've learned from this, and hope you can add this to your artillery of multiple price ladder strategy patterns.